Okay, so this welcome is back. We're going to look at memory. We're going to look at stuff that you can sort of put it in your head, something that you can keep it there, and then how you can use it later. Now sometimes memory doesn't always work very well, and so we need to look at, and we're going to review this from what we did in class, looking at the short-term memory, the working memory, and long-term memory, and how to put things into the long-term memory. Alright, so what I'm going to ask you to do is, before you come back to next class, let's do a few tasks, and I'm going to ask you to do a couple of things before you come to class so we can talk about it when we get in there. And what I want you to do is come up with a couple of memory tasks. I'm going to ask you to do a mnemonic. Now you can do mnemonic acronym, and you'll see the example in the next slide here pretty soon. And then also what I would like you to look at alternatively would be to do a mnemonic sentence, and I'll give you an example for both of them. Now I've also put a link into your PowerPoint here, and you can get this from the one I put up on Blackboard. If you click on it, it's looking at association as a memory strategy, and in particular looking at what's called a loci, looking at location-based. So I'd ask you to watch that. And then I'm going to give you a quick example on how I get people to remember where I live, and it's by making an association. It's one that they tell me they never forget. Okay, so I'm going to give you some examples. I'll move to the next slide and I'll show you that.
I'm going to look as an example with an acronym looking at the Great Lakes, Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, Lake Michigan, Lake Superior, and Lake Huron. You can use the acronym HOMES. H for Huron, O for Ontario, M for Michigan, E for Erie, S for Superior. Now that's an acronym. Now if you're going to put it into a sentence, you'd use Henry organized Mom's evening shoes. Now you may come up with a different example that you would use, and there's many of them. There's not one right one. It's just whatever works for you that holds in your memory. Now the next one I want to do is I want to show you basically how to do an association one.
Okay, now as you can see where O and sound is, it's not how all associations are made, but it is about making an association that will enable you to remember things very well. Now it just so happens Ontario looks like an elephant, and we're not in the best location of the elephant, so I would encourage you to come up with your own association, and my friends have certainly said they never forget where I live. And I wouldn't highly recommend this very well. It's a little uncomfortable standing here. Okay, everyone go make your own, and I'll see you next week. Bye now.